All right. We are recording. I will try my best to check the chat periodically. I don't foresee our session today taking up a full hour. I am Lauren Kelly. I'm the technical services consultant here at the Department of Libraries. I am kind of your main contact for the VTLIB RecordShare Buying Group. And if you are on this meeting today, if you are viewing this recording, your library is set up with an account. So there are just some things that I wanted to make sure we're all on the same page about in terms of the program and the changes that are upcoming. So we'll start first with the name. This buying group was formerly called the CatExpress Buying Group. We are now going with the name VTLIB RecordShare. And part of this change came about because the connection and CatExpress platform interface from OCLC is changing to WorldShare Metadata Services. Hopefully that is not a new point of information for you. If you do use the Connection desktop client, this change will not affect you. If you download that client to your computer and use that to search the database, download records, this change will not affect you. But if you do use that online connection CatExpress interface for searching and downloading records, it will be shutting down at the end of April. So by April 30th, the service will no longer be provided. Instead, WorldShare Metadata Services is the platform that will be providing this service through. Still OCLC. We did, and by we, I mean VTLIB myself, we did hold a webinar in December going over the change to WorldShare Metadata Service. And there is a Niche Academy link, which I will send out all of these links that we go over today, as well as this recording, in an email to everyone as a follow-up. So in that Niche Academy course, there's a recording of the session that happened, and there's also a syllabus with all these links. So there'll be a couple of places to access the links. There is also a PDF walkthrough on the VTLib site, on the technical services and cataloging page. That is also in the syllabus. And I think I'll pull that up now just as the first thing that I will show because it really gives a good overview. So this is the tutorial here. Like I said, it is in PDF form. If there's a reason that you cannot access it in PDF form, send me an email. I'm happy to send out the Word document version of it. So it just walks you through the steps of logging in, where to go to actually search metadata services, and we can look at this site today as a demo as well. There is a panel on the left-hand side. Record Manager is now serving as CatExpress connection, that interface in order to download records and search for records. I do want to harp on that this resource is not just for downloading. It is a good resource for comparison, as well as kind of checking, double checking records or bits of information in a specific record. This can be a good resource for that. You will have to make an export list. We can go through these steps, but first, just as an overview, this is the PDF version of the walkthrough. You will create a list, and then you can name it, and then you can search for items kind of as you would with CatExpress and Connection, and you can add those records that you find. You will get a list of results, and there are some customization elements that you can do. There's a link to a tutorial from OCLC in the syllabus for that December class. I'll also send it out in the follow-up email from our session today that talks about these customizing your results page, basically. And so once you find the title that you want, you can click into the record, you'll be able to see it, and then you will go ahead and just let me admit people. You will add it to the export list, and once you add it to the list, it'll give you a little, yes, you have done this. And like I said, we'll go through the demo. I just wanted to show that there is this PDF with screenshots. Send to my computer is how you're going to download a list. And then you will use your regular process of uploading a record into your ILS. That is ILS specific, but I'm happy to answer questions about that process. If I can, I may not be able to. But that is the quick kind of PDF that's available, and that will get sent out. Let's see here. Okay, so before you're able to access WorldShare Metadata Services, you will need to request institution credentials from OCLC. There is a very short form to fill out. I have a link for that. I will send it out in email. It is also on that Niche Academy course from December about this change. And when a library requests these new credentials, a library-specific URL to access metadata services will be sent out to you. If you have any updates as staff members have changed, library names have changed, now is a great time to be able to request those updates when you are requesting these new credentials for WorldShare. So I will send that link out. When you're filling out that form, you will need to know your OCLC institution code. I have a link in order to look that up. If you can't access that link, or if you're having trouble finding your OCLC institution code, send me an email. I'm happy to get you that. And now I will show OCLC Metadata Services. So once you request your credentials, you will be able to get your link that it will be specific to your institution. If you notice up here at the top, Vermont State Library is in the URL. These are my credentials that I did request from OCLC, so I'm going to sign in. For some reason, it's not letting me sign in. I'm going to try it again. It may be that I signed in and signed out. Okay, success. I have logged in. I can see my account up here on the top right. It is reflecting that I'm working at the Vermont State Library. So this is kind of the home page. It's going to be very blank, but here is the tab for metadata services. Like I said, this is the replacement for this online version of CatExpress Connection, this database, in order to search records and download them. Record Manager, and you'll see this in the PDF tutorial. Here we go. You can search for bibliographic records, probably our most common search, from WorldCat. And you can search by title, you can search by ISBN, or keyword, up to you. There are a couple different ways you can make a list, but if you notice, there's a tab down here called Export Lists. It can be easier to go into Export Lists before you actually go to download a record to actually create a list first. This is just going to be our test. I'm putting my institution code in there, VSL test, and I'm just going to set this as a default list, create. Okay, and now here there is an important element to these lists, the quantity. Right now it's reflecting that there are 0 records in this list. If you notice, 30 days left, they should kind of clear out after 30 days. You shouldn't really keep a list shouldn't really need a list past downloading it out of OCLC. So that is an automatic expiration. I'm not sure if under user preferences, if you can change that aspect, but user preferences will be where you can customize how your lists, your results show up. So I'm just going to search for the word pigs, just as an example. If I was searching for this record here, I would be able to click into it. It pulls up the record. I can see that it's a high quality record. It has lots of 040 subfield D libraries that have looked at this. It has, you know, solid 245, 100, and it has a couple of 650 fields. I can say that this seems like a good record. So what I'm going to do with this record is I'm going to send it under record. I'm going to send it to my export list. And notice this is the one that I just made, this VSL test. And I can just add it. It will now give me that confirmation there. I can click into the list here. I can also access it down on the panel and export lists. Let's go into it here. All right, so it's telling me that it's going to export this in Mark 21 with Mark 8 format, which is great. I will select this here. I have the option to delete it. It will tell me when I added it. So you can, you know, add things to, oh gosh, lists over multiple days. Now, if you're wanting to download this out of here, you can just send to my computer, and over here on our downloads, it does export as a DAT file, which is what I always used when I worked in a public library with Koha to be able to import records. So after this, you will follow the same process of your ILS in order to import that record. So that is WorldShare. Like I said, there are credentials that you need to request. I will send out that link. It is also in the syllabus for the webinar that was held in December on this. So now some more important points of information. So beginning this July 2024, the updated cost share for having an account for use of downloading records is going to go up. Previously, it was $1 for records, for each record that you download over 250 for your institution, it will be $2. And so I believe at the end of the fiscal year, if you have surpassed the 250 for your institution, you will see an invoice for $2 per record that went over that 250. I did point out that in the list, you can see how many records you are downloading in one list. If you just keep track of that as you catalog, as you download things, that would be great. I really hope that each institution can stay under the 250. Billing is not necessarily a fun process, but if you are worried and don't know how many records you've downloaded, I can access your stats for your library. So please send me an email if you are worried about hitting that 250 or above and want to check in about that, send me an email. My email is plastered all over. It's just my name, lauren.kelly@vermont.gov. The last kind of important piece about this service, like I mentioned, it is good for comparison. It can be a comparison tool, especially with the sunset of the OCLC Classify, which was really helpful for Dewey Decimal, FAST subject headings, Library of Congress classification. That website is no longer with us, RIP. WorldShare Metadata Services can be an opportunity to compare like materials. Once again, there is no kind of exact one-for-one replacement for that website. At the moment, we're still keeping our eyes out for that. at the cataloging roundtable, I know that we've talked about kind of alternative workarounds. Unfortunately, it does kind of add an extra step. But when it comes to this resource, in terms of downloading records, we really want to keep it for those hard to find items. For specific editions, for non-English records, this can be a good resource. For rare items, and when you're really in need of a high quality and a more complete record, there is the cataloging flowchart for copy cataloging, and we'll take a look at that now. So our copy cataloging flowchart, hopefully this is not a totally foreign flowchart to you. If you've taken a cataloging class with me or been to a previous session, this should look familiar. So we have our item in hand, you search your local catalog. If you find a matching record, you add your item to that record. If not, this is an important step. This is not when you go to OCLC Metadata Services, WorldShare. You should definitely utilize, if your ILS has a built-in Z3950 search, that would be great. I'm always open to suggesting targets to try. Seattle Public Library has been good, Milwaukee County, as well as some ILSs can reach into OCLC through their Z3950 search, but it really is ILS dependent. I'm happy to answer questions about that if you just send me an email about what ILS you have. You can also check Library of Congress. It's a good comparison tool. You can also save records from there. And Clover as well. You can download records from Clover. There is a tutorial that April Shaw put together. Typically, Clover is used by our interlibrary loan librarians at our institutions, but even if you don't participate in ILL, your institution should have a login for Clover. If you have questions about that login, you can send an email to April Shaw, april.shaw@vermont.gov, in order to get those credentials to log into Clover to be able to access records from libraries all around the state of Vermont. This can be a really good resource for those records that are more about local material, as so many public libraries have great local collections. So these things can be searched by the same means. ISBN or title happen to be the most popular ways of searching. If you find a matching record, there is a process for downloading records. Like I said, there's a tutorial for Clover. If you're using the Z3950 search, it's built in. It won't have kind of multiple steps in order to download a record and upload it into your ILS, but you can then add your item to the record. If you're not finding records at those various databases, then is a good time to check OCLC Metadata Services WorldShare. Once again, we saw that you can search ISBN or title, and then you will have to add it to the export list, download that list, upload it to your ILS, and then add the item record. There are those cases still where something is not in OCLC Metadata Services, and so you will do your normal process of creating a brief cataloging record if you're able to do that, or periodically check for a better record in other catalogs, kind of going back to that step 2. Like I said, I will send out those materials. They are linked in the syllabus from December that also went through WorldShare. OCLC does also have tutorials. There's a link to their tutorial hub all about WorldShare. And I believe there is a meeting. It got changed tomorrow, an open house from OCLC. It was in the digest about the change to metadata services and WorldShare Record Manager. I also have the link to the user interface preferences and customizing that. I will include that link as well. Those are the main points that I wanted to hit today. And like I said, I will be sending out this link, this recording, but I'm happy to open it up to questions. Hopefully this is not new information that Connection and CatExpress, the website, is going away, but WorldShare Metadata Services is its replacement, and you will need to request those institution credentials. So I'm happy to take questions. I really wanted to have people come to this meeting to, put a face to my name if we have not met yet. There are over 100 libraries in the state using this service. So there are resources all around. And like I said, I'm happy to give you stats if you don't know or do not keep track of your downloads. So it would be great if you can keep it under 250. That would, save a lot of back and forth for us. If you're having trouble doing that, I mean, we can talk about, looking at the different resources that are available. I'm also happy to take questions via email about any cataloging anytime. So. All right, like I said, I didn't want this meeting to last an hour. I really appreciate everyone turning up. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or unmute and ask. Yes, I see a hand already from Eric. Go for it.
Hi, Lauren. Can you hear me? Just wanted to be extra double sure. We only get charged for records coming from WorldShare, right? Like Z3950, Clover, all of those, they're free, they're good, unlimited.
Correct.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. And it's only above the 250. So it's the 251st record you download from OCLC Metadata Services. That will be when the charge gets accrued. So,
okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. I'm not seeing too much else in the chat. If questions come into your mind, if you run into any snags getting your institution credentials, please let me know. I'm happy to troubleshoot and also get you connected to OCLC if they're the ones who will have to answer the question if I don't know the answer. Ruth asks, does the download yearly count run January to December or fiscal year July? Because we will be the ones having to collect those charges, it will be fiscal year. So it will begin July 1st and then run through June 30th. Yes, Jill is requesting the URL to get your credentials. I'm going to send that out kind of mass email, but I will get you those. And they also are, if you don't want to wait for me to send out an email, they are already in the syllabus for the December 12th OCLC WorldShare Metadata Services on Niche Academy, which I can send out that link as well in that email, or you can search for it on Niche Academy. So couple places to check, but I will definitely get all the URLs that I talked about today out to you. I'm happy to stay on for longer to answer or address any questions. If not, feel free to log off. I really appreciate you taking the time to join today. Just as a heads up, April 30th is when this change is going to take effect, so please request your institution credentials now. Thank you. All right, it looks like people are trickling out. I may just stop the recording here, but I'm happy to stay on and continue to answer questions.